All right, so we're at the 8th meeting now. We're finally here, almost there. We're almost at the 10 meeting mark. Just some general announcements for those of you who were not at the workshop earlier today. Bronco Space will be having some e-board elections. So there's special positions that are opening. These are the nominees for it. Kind of sounds like an award, right? But who cares, right? So yeah, they're running.
That's a tight race.
Oh yeah, dang. Make it tough for Michael. Join him.
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, we could have. Yeah, you can be the chief consultant, Michael.
I don't have time for that.
And then Daniel, you could be the outreach manager.
I can barely survive right now. if I throw that in, I might as well just go back to sleep. Then I hope I was dreaming.
We could either have Liz or Andrew as the historian. Charles, you could be somewhere in there. You could make your own role. So yeah, we're not really running against anybody, so it's kind of, these are the guys pretty much. You see what you get. So they're going to be talking about why it should fit that rule in the main Discord, in the main Bronco Space Discord. So if you feel like you want to, don't be afraid to show your support. Just ask them questions, what the role is going to be about, just stuff like that if you're interested. Also, they will be having a crowdfunding page. Basically, if you want to help donate to Bronco Space for like future projects, to like help fund that, you can just donate to their website. I put the website link right here, just in case if you're interested. I know I'm going to be donating probably about maybe $30, somewhere around there. So we can also have future projects and stuff like that. So that's just if you want to. If you can, just try to spread the word. So yeah, this is the agenda for today's meeting. This is a doozy right here. This is a lot to look at, requirements, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. All right, Daniel. So don't cry yet. All right. So yeah, there's this, and then I'll talk about the hazards and the risks and other things if anyone else has to chime in, and also some things I did on my AIR, but we'll talk about that at the very end. And then again, to be posted looking at next meeting. So oh yeah, everybody's favorite I guess slide, deadlines, right? Yay, right? Come on everybody, yay.
That's an interesting gift.
Hey, I like to make things interesting. So we're gonna have our hazards and risk try to be done by tonight. Since you guys have already done, actually, we'll talk about that at the very end because I have some things to say from this. So yeah, but tonight at before 11:59, if possible, if we could get that done. We're still waiting on feedback. That's why I'll talk about it at the end. But requirements, just keeping things in schedule with everybody. We'll try to have our first draft by Tuesday. But again, if possible, I know we have a lot of different schedules and deadlines and school and things like that. So yeah, just if possible in mind. But yeah, please try to stick to that. Requirements. So let's dive into it, right? From what I could tell, I posted a lot, basically copied and paste a lot of it from the actual PowerPoint of Jacob's PowerPoint. So if this is literally all the information from the PowerPoint, I didn't put it in my own words. So basically, this is the overlying message of the requirements. They clearly state what is required of the system. So when you're typing these, just keep in mind what is required of the system. And in this point in time, we're only going to be talking about like the functionality. We're not going to be talking like about the physical part itself. We're going to be talking about just what makes it happen. I guess what moves it forward. We're not going to go into the nitty gritty of like certain pixel resolution or just like I don't know, real time things about the fart. Bleh. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So just try to keep it broad when you're talking about this. That's just in, I guess, in general sense. But so requirements have these four. They have these four categories. They have pragmatic requirements. They mainly focus on management related things. Like just like this example, like budget, schedule, timing, people's work schedules, stuff like that. And this is just of the system. I don't know why I said other people's schedules, but yeah. Technical requirements, this is like on the performance and what the system needs to accomplish in order to like basically what is required of the system to accomplish that performance, I guess. Just this is another example, just like payload mass and altitude and things like that. System level requirement / user requirements. What is to the stakeholders requirements? That would be Bronco Space. Would be defined parameters by them of the system. So like we could give them, we could have a overlying requirement. If it doesn't fit that, then of course we would need to remove that or maybe adjust it. But that's just one of them. Another is like to state all the high level things of what the system needs to do. I know he talked a little bit more in the video. I'd have to look back on it, but he said a lot more things about this. He said just really only focus on what the high level things what the system needs to accomplish. And then all derived requirements. Oh, I think that no, I'm okay. Derived requirements is the next one that's on the next slide. But yeah, I guess they trace back to the system level requirements. So and then also continued, this is the derived requirements. So I guess this would be the fourth, and then derived requirements would be the fifth. They develop back into the system level requirements derived from of course, the derived requirements. And they're developed in the system engineering design process. So I guess, for example, the more detail you go into, so if it's going to be like 1.1, and then you have something, and then if you're going to talk about it a little bit more, then you have to be more and more specific as it gets into it, the actual function, not the part. And this is just a diagram, a visual diagram of the different levels of requirements. If I'm wrong about this, please let me know, or I'll probably figure it out after. But we were all introduced into this, so it's still really new. But this is just what I got out of it. But yeah, if I got anything wrong, just let me know and I'll fix it, so we can communicate that better. But yeah, format as requirements as usual. They should have numbering. They should have description, a name. Be clear and understandable when you're writing them. They should only focus on one thing. Blah 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 blah. You guys can read this, but he really emphasized when you're writing these, they should not have this statement in them, the shall not. They should always have shall, not shall not, in any way when you're writing them. He gave some more examples on this, but so it's a lot to look at. I know if you have any questions, just let me know. So again, I guess just at the numbering, when you have prefixes, of course, PR means pragmatic requirement, TR means technical requirement, and system level. I think this would be derived requirement, and then the system level would dive into it. Or maybe I got that backwards. I might have that backwards. I don't know, in the PowerPoint it just said it said it differently, but yeah, maybe I have to do look at it a little bit more and a little bit of research, but yeah. These are just some examples of would be some pragmatic and technical requirements. And then it'd be the system. So like when you go more into detail, it'd be the system, and I guess, and then the derived requirement. So that's why they have 0.5 and then 0.2. Yeah. I don't know. It's still really new to me, but yeah, I think the system level is this guy, where it's just 1.0, and then when you go further up on, like if it's gonna be like 0.2 or like 0.4 or something, that's when it becomes derived requirements. I think that's what it means now that I look at it. So yeah, this is just the numbering, I guess. And then just for validation, when you're thinking about writing these are just some things to keep in mind when you're writing them, of course. So if it's feasible, I get like one of Jacob's statements was like, well, the CubeSat, it can't be like, oh, the CubeSat's going to carry like 1,000 pounds, right? That's not feasible in any way the sense, right? So yeah, just stuff like that. Just keep it in mind. If it can it be verifiable? Can it be like for sure? Can it be like we can accomplish this? I don't know why am I thinking about. And then it's if it's redundant or if it's over specified. I can get a little bit more into detail if you have any questions on this guy. But yeah, just some things to keep in mind. Oh, okay. And then make sure they're traceable back to the NGOs, stuff like that. And then for the requirement process, I think I probably should have put NGOs here, but they're all derived from the OAs, the metrics, the hazards, the NGOs. That's what the requirements are going to be based on, I guess. And if they're like redundant in any way, like if one doesn't make sense, you can just combine them to make it more clear. Some things like that. And then we have these guys right here. Before we move on, did you guys have any questions? I know it's a lot to process right now.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. And then this is what it should look like. This is just an added visual of what the table should look like. So this is where they're traced from, the OA, the metric, the hazard, the NGO. And this is also pretty important too. Although if you have a requirement, it doesn't need to be traced back from all of them. It doesn't need to be traced from the OA, the metric. It's fine if it could just be a trace from at least one of them. So if it's traced from just the OA, that's fine. But just make sure it just needs to be traced from one of them when you're writing them. And then instead of defined, instead of refined, it should be defined. That's what that should be replaced here. But so it defines this requirement over here, and then it's when you're just writing the hazards before, it's caused by this this hazard, and then it's caused by this hazard over here, stuff like that, or causes. And then so this is not requirements. This is different. So it looks like we're nearing the end of the operational concept, and we're going to be moving forward into the systems concept in about a couple weeks time. I think when we're fully done of our operational concept, we'll be presenting it to faculty and industry partners of Bronco Space and also the school. And I don't know if it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be in person, but it'll probably be over visual presentation, but we'll be going through slides and talking about all of our operational concepts that we've developed so far. So like our NGOs, hazards, OAs, our operational timeline, our DRM, things like that. We'll be displaying it and talking about it to those people, and they'll give us good feedback. And it's that will be in a couple weeks' time. But this is what we're kind of already doing so far, which is good. We're thinking about, you know, the size, the mass, some systems, components. We've already done this. We've already pretty much accomplished these things already. So that's good so far. But we'll just make sure to keep focusing on it, because we know that things come and change, and we'll develop new components and things to add to the system and things to remove, as we've already done so far. So yeah, we're already on track for this part, so that's good. As always, if as with the cloud chamber idea, don't get married to it, and also the Geiger counter, don't get married to it. As we've discussed, we've already gotten rid of those things, as you guys already know. But yeah, so just look out for this in the next couple weeks. We'll be entering it pretty soon. Of course, very simple for roles this week. For requirements, everybody's going to work in on this, because I see this as a team effort, because it combines a lot of different things that we've done, and every opinion is good. It helps us kind of look at each other's work and say, oh, I don't know if that fits, or maybe we can improve this or add something to this. And I know it looks like requirements are going to be really heavily team focused, as for the hazards and the risk. So yeah. So a lot of information today. Did you guys have any questions regarding anything?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the hazards. So yeah, as soon as you guys gave me the hazards and the risks, I looked over it, and I just wanted to maybe give some of my feedback on it. But also I talked to Jacob, and he said he'd try to give me his feedback on them either today, so if we can submit them later tonight. But so let's do this. So are we just focusing mainly on the muon detector?
That would be a pretty good possibility. That would be our most realistic goal right now. Would be the muon detector.
Okay. Okay, forget this. Just like delete this, right? Hold on. Okay. So yeah, I updated it. Cloud chamber and Geiger counter out of the running. But yeah, I like this. But I was also thinking maybe we could add maybe a temperature or like a GPS sensor, if in mind, because I feel like we'd get a lot of good data from that.
That could probably work.
Oh, let me pause recording. But yeah, this kind of ends it for today. But yeah.